When I was a kid, the big sport in our school was basketball. The best basketball players were the kings of our school, and they knew it. Unfortunately for me, I wasn't very good. I liked basketball well enough, at least at first, but I was what they'd call today kinesthetically challenged. In those days, we just called it clumsy. No matter how hard I tried, I just didn't get much better. And here's the real problem, now that I think back on it. The coach wasn't much help. See, it was clear that he'd rather coach the kids who were already good. He didn't want to show kids like me the proper way to shoot a free throw or a layup. That was boring stuff. Now, he wanted to map out an intricate offensive play or a zone defense or something. He was probably a failed semi-pro player. I don't know. He spent less and less time with kids like me, and I became less and less interested in basketball. In fact, I started to dread basketball. I avoided it whenever I could, and I certainly didn't get any better. Why am I talking about basketball? Because it strikes me that for many people, you could take the story I just told and substitute the word writing for basketball. I've known many people who, for whatever reason, struggled with writing in school. It just didn't come naturally to them, sort of like basketball didn't come naturally to me. And here's the sad part. Some teachers began to treat them like my coach treated me. It's easy to see how a teacher might enjoy working with the more talented writers in the class. The remedial kids, or the ones who can't seem to understand when to use commas, they're more of a challenge. They start to fall farther and farther behind. They start to avoid writing, like I avoided basketball. I get it. But here's the problem. I can live a reasonably fulfilled life without ever playing basketball again. But writing is much harder to avoid. In fact, what most adults come to realize is that they can't avoid writing. Most jobs require a good amount of it. And trust me, the ability to write is a huge advantage in the work world. So if you're an adult and you still struggle with writing, what can you do? I'll give you two pieces of advice. First, accept all the help you can get from any source. Resources like this online writing lab are a great start. We start with some pretty basic stuff, the equivalent of how to dribble. If that's what you need, go there. If you're a bit more advanced than that, then don't. Check out the section on how to structure essays instead. Second, find a smart friend who can write. I'm serious. You must know somebody, your mom, your husband, your neighbor, your geeky friend from high school, someone who always got high grades in writing. Show your writing to this person and ask them to rip it apart. And I mean rip it apart with red marks all over the page. This is no time for a big ego. If you don't understand some of the red marks, ask what they mean. Ask what you did wrong, make the changes. Then the next time you write something, do it again. This isn't cheating, by the way. I've never met a professor who would say that it was. If you pick the right person and you actually do this in good faith, then your writing will improve. There's no substitute for it. It's the best advice I can give you. You may never learn to slam dunk. Not all of us are capable of that. But I'm confident that with enough practice, you'll be able to competently dribble down the court and shoot a decent free throw. And for most of us, that's enough. Leave the slam dunks to the professionals.